Hello, it's April, National Heartworm Prevention Month. And me, Denise Fleck, the Pet Safety Crusader, today I'm going to take page 237 out of the Pet Safety Bible to talk about heartworms. Heartworms, those spaghetti-like foot-long worms that don't discriminate. They choose puppies. They choose adults and senior dogs. They choose big breeds, small breeds, cats and ferrets, also wolves and coyotes, foxes, sea lions, even, although rarely, they sometimes choose humans to infest. Heartworms infest or infect about 1 million of our pet dogs every year, and many of them don't make it. So I hope you'll read the blog that's posted here. Not only am I going to give you a lot of heartworm information in that blog, but you'll get to hear Annie's saga. Annie is a beautiful 2-year-old Vizsla who, thanks to the Animal Protective Foundation in Glenville, New York, got the heartworm treatment she needed, and now she is living an amazing life, healthy and strong, with her new forever mom, Emily. So please do read that. But today I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about the facts of heartworm and the fact that they actually live in the heart, the lungs, all of the blood vessels, and they truly can be deadly. Hey, Barbara, nice to see you. Thank you for joining in. Well, for starters, you may not be able to tell if your dog has heartworm. Don't think it's that apparent. But some of the signs and symptoms include coughing, exercise intolerance. He just can't do what he used to do because these worms are infesting his heart and his breathing. Your dog may lose weight and he may suffer from tachypnea, which is actually rapid breathing, as well as ascites, which is an accumulation of fluid in the abdominal cavity. So it may seem like he's swollen, in that particular area. In kitty cats, an asthma-like situation may occur, and you may also see that abdominal fluid, but they may also faint and have seizures. In cats, heartworms is a totally different beast. Actually, the adult heartworm cannot survive in the cat, and when a cat gets heartworms, it may be 2 or 3 heartworms. When a dog gets these foot-long spaghetti-like worms in his body, there can be hundreds, absolutely hundreds. I've been haunted by heartworms actually since I was a little girl. Not that I've ever seen any in person, thankfully, but as many of you know, I was raised by a Great Dane named Ulysses. And I remember it was a small hardback book. It didn't have a picture on the cover. It must have had one of those paper sleeves that had long, disintegrated or worn off. But my parents had a book, probably from the 50s, about the Great Dane. And in it, it was just a black and white picture, but it was a heart infested with heartworms. And at a young age, that made just such an impact on me and made me want to make sure that none of my furry family members ever contracted this disease. So the best thing to think about is an ounce of prevention, they say is worth a pound of cure. What you really need to do is keep your dog on a preventive. The American Heartworm Society has this saying called Think 12. Meaning that every 12 months, you need to have your dog tested for heartworms. It's a simple blood test just to make sure the microphilia, as well as adults, aren't in your dog's body. The microphilia are the baby worms. The other part of the Think 12 is that for 12 months a year, you need to give your pets preventive. The reason for this is, we used to think about it just during the hot weather months because the way dogs get heartworms, and I'm going to explain that in a moment, is through a mosquito bite. And, in the cold of December and January, we aren't thinking or worrying too much about mosquitoes being out there. However, it takes 6 months from that larva that's infested in your pet to grow into an adult. So that's why it's really important that we don't skip a cycle and we do keep our pets on the preventive for the full 12 months every year. I was recently speaking with Dr. Judy Morgan. She's an integrative vet, and she's always trying to do things the more healthy and natural way for our, furry family members. But to date, there just really isn't a more natural preventive for heartworms. A lot of people feel that if you keep the dog's immune system up and you check him for heartworms every 4 months rather than once a year, you can, stay ahead of the game. But right now, the various medications out there, whichever one your veterinarian prescribes, is probably the best way to really keep your dog heartworm free. Like I said, they don't discriminate. It can be puppies, it can be adults, it can be big dogs, little dogs.